Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. This is my morning coffee again, and I'm also getting my nails done later today. So bear with me if my nails are ugly, and I'm a bit fuzzy while I try and wake up. It's the best day of the week to do this today. It's Thursday. I've had a lot going on earlier in the week, and then tomorrow, if I film this today, tomorrow I can do Halloween project stuff. So because I have to go out later and use up like all my spoons, it just makes the most sense to film it this morning, even though my nails are ugly. So I wanted to do a filofax info dump today, really exciting to return to them. I feel really ready to talk about it because I've kind of Frankensteined myself a new planner system for 2025, which I think is possibly the best outcome from the stuff I've been experimenting with this summer. I feel like I'm just climbing over the other side of my yearly nervous breakdown, and I'm starting to feel a bit more settled, a bit more autumnal. I was using my personal size filofax in the last video, and I thought we could do a quick flip through of it, but I'm not using it now. So I have the same pocket in the front that I always did, and then I had my photo of Reagan from The Ring, a calendar. All these bits I think you will have seen before in my previous setup, and then for a while what I did was move the tracking from the side to the bottom of the page, and I was tracking digital notes, filofax updates, and illustration, and then like my sleepiness. This worked pretty well. I'm actually still tracking these things now. It's just in a different shape and size. And then I had an index. This was something I put together from when I was in my sort of like digital traveler's notebook era, when I was making those booklets to get printed and it didn't work out, but the index and this way of working was kind of something I took from that. And this is something that I've carried over into my 2025 system, so that's cool. Or my end of 2024 system and hopeful 2025 system might be a better way to say it. But I really like this way of working. So I have like a little bit of text about the month on the side, and then I have the days and the stuff I either made or didn't make that day, like the pages I made. And then for the dailies themselves, I have the date at the top, and then like I've written it out long form underneath. I have a space for indexing, which I haven't done yet, but it's in there. And then I'm kind of breaking up the page in the same way that I did my cousin pages and also my traveler's notebook pages. So the whole thing is kind of like this big weird loop feeding into itself, which I guess is cool because it means I've taken a bit of everything that I did. But it's also like it's become such like a Frankenstein's monster. So but column down one side for the margin, and then I've got a line kind of midway through down the bottom. It's kind of like a third of the way usually. And I just like having the page broken up like that because it makes it less intimidating, and it gives me some interesting space I guess to work with. Like down here I tucked in a task list, that kind of thing, and that's just a way of working that I enjoy. So these are my pages, and if you can hear Wednesday scratching around on the floor next to me, please ignore her. She's trying to get comfy. This is what the pages look like, a mixture of like text, to-do lists, work in progress, work stuff, photos, some book reviews and stuff, films. This one is from a book, and then for my zine, and then I made this cover page with the ghosts a couple of months ago, and then I've got August, and then I have my travel journal from New York. I'm not redoing that in the new size. I've just left it. This is all fine. This will all be archived anyway, so I think I've really, because I've made the New York pages like 4 times, I think I'm at my limit. Obviously you saw all of this in detail, so we don't need to spend too much time here. But this was what it all ended up looking like. So, and then I've got a wedding invitation and the sort of notes. And then Halloween is coming, and then I've got my 2025 kind of hobonichi thoughts, just a little bit, and then I had this one in between page from my rings in an A6 hobonichi cover experiment, which I will show you in a second. We'll do that next so I don't forget. This is how small the page has to be compared to personal or compared to Franklin Covey Compact. I'm not sure what that would look like next to a true personal size page, but it's not terrible, to be honest. You only lose like 4 squares, 5 squares. postcard, and then I've just got some bits back here. I made this Tamagotchi reference page. I don't know if I've showed that. I have a mini super sticker club order tucked in here. Stickers, and that's kind of it. So that's where I got to. I did kind of like a month or so in my filofax, like personal. And then I kind of spiraled a bit. I'm just trying to find a nice place to leave it. I kind of spiraled a bit. And I put personal size rings into an A6 hobonichi cover. Apologies to people who have asked me if this would work before, and I've told them that I didn't think it would, because I sat down to try and work it out and I kind of made it work. So it does kind of work. I think a few people have asked me before if I thought it was possible, and I kind of said like flat out no, they're completely different sizes. And they are, but you can kind of like rig it to work. So what I have done is hold the rings in with an elastic band, and then I've put the clear cover on top to hold it in place. And this is personal size rings. These are like my spare Moterm rings, and then like I just put them on there and then put the elastic band through and then put the cover on, and that's literally it. There is like a little bit of overhang, but it's not an unpleasant amount. It just sticks a little bit. It's kind of cute. I kind of like it because you can see the like metal and the gold detailing. It's really not bad at all. And then I cut down a personal size pocket to fit in here. And then, as I say, the page size we saw, it's this size. I'll show you. So this is kind of how it looks. And this is kind of like absolutely as wide as you can go. If someone can remind me in the comments to give you the measurements for the page I made, I will do that for you. But my brain is a bit fried this week and I'm worried I won't remember. But that's kind of what it looks like, if you can see the page in there. And it's like absolutely at the edge. It's like perfect. I did some trial and error to get it so like specific, I guess, but it would work. You would just have to work with this very niche size and format. But that's, you know, there you go. Interesting. It's interesting. I'll leave that in there for now. That's how I did it though. And then so I got to a point where I was thinking like, okay, I'm starting to feel kind of content and at home in my filofax again, which is a big relief, because you might remember me mentioning in a previous video recently that I just like, it wasn't clicking for me and I wasn't sure why, but I was kind of sad about it. So it did start to click for me again. As you can see, I started to feel more settled here again. And then I was thinking to myself like, okay, what the hell am I going to do for 2025 though? Because I don't want to completely miss out on hobonichi. I do really like them. Like just generally I enjoy that they release designs every year and it's fun to be a part of, and I do like them like as a company. Even all the chaos of the release day aside, I do like enjoy participating. I like them. So I didn't want to completely miss out. So I was thinking that tiny A6 experiment is not ideal because I do sell my filofax pages, and if I work in such a niche hyper-specific size, it kind of cuts out a lot of people who might want to use my work, my pages, and that kind of sucks. It's not really ideal for work, basically. And also for myself, like trying to cut down pockets and stuff, like that would get really annoying really fast. I like to be able to fit things in, and like postcards, that kind of thing. It basically just, as intriguing as it was to be back in like the A6 loop, I was like, this is not actually compatible with the way that I work on every level, is the point. Personally and like professionally, I guess, like it just doesn't work. So I put that aside, but at least I worked it out. And I was thinking like, okay, what is the problem with personal? And I was thinking that the only reason I ever tend to leave personal is like springtime, when I'm like really struggling. It's that like winter to spring transition really nerves me every year. Like by the time I get to this point in the summer, I feel like I've adjusted and I'm coping, but it's that initial like change in temperature. It's spring. Spring absolutely murders me every year. I realized that, and now I'm like, wow, I think I hate spring. Like, sorry to all the spring lovers. I know it's really hopeful for a lot of people, but I think I hate it. It's truly like when my whole life turns upside down for no reason. I don't like it. But I realized that what happens is when that time of year comes around, I start to crave A5 books. And I think that's traceable through 2 years of videos. So I get to that point and I'm like, I need more space to think. I want more room and like more, I don't know, more everything to look at. So then I kind of thought, well, I have filofax folders at home, like we already have those at home. Experimenting with filofax is never really costing me any money because I print it at home and I can make everything myself, and like there's no like big impulsive purchases involved. So I figured I would try making like hobonichi cousin style filofax pages for A5 or something thereabouts. It's not quite that. It's really more of a Frankenstein of the stuff I learned from the last like 6 months between my traveler's notebook and like my day free, my personal pages, like all the bits in between. And that's kind of where I'm at now, is that I've made like an A5 setup. So I'll put this to one side and I'll show you my A5. And at the moment I'm just working in a PVC folder because I didn't want to buy like a big one and I didn't want to use a really chunky one. Ideally I would like to find, it's so dusty, I use it every day. I hate PVC. Ideally I would want to find something relatively compact, which is really hard for A5 filofax style folders for ring binders. They make everything huge. They almost become like A4 because of the bulk of the folder, which is like a real grievance for me. I think that's where I've fallen off with it in the past, is that the folder itself is truly not carryable. Part of my thinking this time though is that I don't actually need to carry my pages around with me, especially because I now make them mostly digitally. So I just take my iPad, which is a lot easier. And then people are less nosy too. If you're out in a coffee shop working and you're working on an iPad, people don't care as much as when you get a big notebook out and then they're like really nosy. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but people are like looking at you continually. They just keep sneaking glances and it gets a bit weird. I just don't need that. So I got this PVC folder. It's pretty low profile, which is nice. Rings are not super big. I don't know what they are. Maybe 25. Feels potential, possible. On the front, I have that same photo because I've had it in so many notebooks at this point that it feels kind of synonymous for me with like my system. I look at that and I think, oh yes, this is my house. I don't know if that's a bit cursed, but I'm a horror girly, so we'll just have to deal with it. A sheet of mini super sticker club stickers on top with a paper clip just because it's cute. And then I have this calendar and it's just 1 month on a page. I normally like them to be a bit bigger in the squares, but having it across 2 pages kind of made it too big. There was too much wasted space around the edges. It was just a bit much. I actually made it originally to match the specifications of the cousin, but I didn't like it, so I shrunk it down and made it 1 page. And this is enough room. You can see that I have managed to fit like all my appointments in fine. And then I have like some to-dos down here, and then I've got some other notes, that kind of thing. So that's kind of cute. And then moving into like, I made a weekly spread because I kind of want to have weekly pages at the moment. That's something that I was using in B6 for a little bit. And then also in the cousins, sometimes that's what happens, is I start to really miss having a weekly layout. I'm trying to make sure, I don't know if this is actually in the frame. But so what I started doing was I based it kind of on the one I made for personal size. I haven't actually used the personal size one, but I kind of based the layout on that. So I have these kind of boxes on the side with the dates, and it comes down to here for Sunday. The same format as my daily pages with the date and then the long form date underneath. And then I kind of write a bit about each day, and then I have like an overflow space. Sometimes I use that to put photos in, and sometimes I use it for to-do lists or appointments or extra notes. And I quite like it. I just like having that broken up space to work in, I guess. It's something I kind of always come back to. I don't want like a whole page. I like having like little boxes. I just think it makes things nicer to look at and easier to work in. It's less intimidating. So I keep coming back to it. So it's a week on 2 pages. So obviously Monday through Sunday, and then I have an area for what I'm working on. And then I have an area for hyperfixations because my hyperfixations are always nerfing me. And I think it would be good to document them. This is a little guide I made for the autism pages, which are available on Patreon. They're technically not finished just yet, but they're finished enough that I've released them to patrons to try out. They're kind of on the shelf at the moment, I guess, while I work on other things, but I like the idea of tracking my hyperfixations and kind of being more aware of them and having that space to sort of think about them and document them, I guess, and to track the damage they're doing to my life. Down here I'm tracking, as I said, digital notes, updating filofax and illustration work, and then my sleepiness levels, and that's quite nice. It's definitely easier to see throughout the week than it is to look at like a month's worth. I'm always like, I don't know what I'm going to do with a month of data. Like, as someone with dyscalculia, I can't really comprehend a month of data in some ways, but looking at a week, I can see the pattern and the trend, like the way I nosedived on Friday. I think that's more helpful to me to know than, you know what I mean? And then it's like, I nosedived on Friday, but then I also was doing a lot more like filofax work, because when I'm overwhelmed, I do more writing. So it's interesting to see that pattern. And then the beginning of the week was like more illustration based. So that's interesting. And then I have a little space over here for other notes as well, just because there was empty room. I will always squeeze some extra notes in somewhere. So that is how my week looks at the moment. And I actually have another one here, so I'll show you this week in a minute. I was punching pages this morning. Moving into my daily pages then, they look the same as they did for personal and also for my traveler's notebook experiment, and the layout is kind of also loosely based on my cousin and day 3. So again, like that big loop, I feel like I borrowed a lot from everything I did, and then it's made this kind of like slightly Frankenstein's-esque monster system. So date at the top, as I said, index at the side. I will add those. I keep forgetting. I guess it makes sense to do it when I archive them. It's just a mass index. But my daily pages, the same. I have the margin on the side, which is a lot bigger now. It's about 10 squares. And then I've got the cut through the middle of the page to about a third of the way in, I think. Yeah, it's a third. And that's quite nice. I'm still making my photos the same way, but now I'm printing, because I'm typing everything up instead to make it more legible, to make it more suitable for archiving long term. And this is part of sort of like my whole thing, if you'll pardon the like side branch, is that I was thinking a lot about the patterns I experienced throughout the year, which has gotten a lot easier to recognize now that I document it all in detail. But I was thinking about my yearly patterns, and then I was thinking about what my actual motivations are, and like why I do what I do with my books, and a lot of it is for archiving and memory. So for me now, it makes sense, and also because I can overlap it with illustration. So if I make my pages digitally and I type them up digitally, and I also maintain them in the same way, then it allows more overlap with my illustrative work. It allows me to type things so that I can actually read them back. My handwriting is not super legible. I also don't write as well when I write by hand. I feel like it's more stream of consciousness based and it's a bit fuzzier, but when I type, I take my time and I think about it more. I'm not sure why that is. I could probably work on either or, but it's just how it is. So typing makes it more legible to read back and reference, and then it makes things a bit cleaner too for archiving long term, which is my main goal. So that's interesting. So I'm typing up my pages, and then I add all the photos in digitally too, which is saving on paper and ink. And also working in A5 means that when I print my pages, all I do is fold them in half and punch them. There's no scraps to cut off the edges. It's just one sheet of paper folded. So there's also a lot less waste now, which is very compelling on all fronts. So I've got some little digital photos here. I make these like fake Polaroids in an app called Unfold. It's for Instagram stories, but I just put it in there and then I cut them out and put them in here. I make all my pages in Procreate still, and I adjust the spacing between the lines. It's called leading. So if you go into the font settings or the text settings, then you can find one called leading, and that's how big the gap between each line of text is, and you can match it to the grid. So that's kind of how I DIY my pages, and I use Procreate because it's all I've ever used. I've never been very good with Adobe software, and I also don't want to pay for it. I don't like Adobe as a company, so Procreate is my bestie. So everything I do is in Procreate, and then it also means that my illustration has a lot more overlap with like my books, which is really cool because it means I always stay in touch with my illustration. When I'm using the Hobonichi Cousin or Traveler's Notebook with paper, when I'm like in I guess a more traditional book, I find that if I'm putting a lot of time into my books, I'm not actually putting a lot of time into my illustrative work because they feel like very different genres or areas of creativity. And when I work in A5 filofax and I do most of it digitally, there's so much more overlap. Like this is for my Halloween project and it all overlaps. Like this is research for the same project, and it just feels like everything is more cohesive and tied together. Everything is overlapping in a way that means I don't fall behind on either, which is mad. So it's pretty cool. I feel pretty good about it. It's quite relieving, I guess. I don't want to say exciting. I don't know if it's exciting, but it's a big relief. And then what I do is come back in and add some stickers, and I will show you some stickers that I bought recently. I come back in after things are printed and finalized, so once the week was finished, I came back and I printed it out again and I added some stickers. And it's just nice to add that little bit of texture because I don't want to lose the texture of my books. So notes for Home Alone Halloween. And then this is a page for my zine too. It was personal size and then I redid it at A5 and it fits kind of neatly. My patrons voted for the zine to be A5, which is very fitting for me right now. I have this little notes page from Mill and Mouse on Etsy as well because I feel like it fits the vibe of what I've been working on. And it kind of cheers me up when I see it, and also because I was kind of experimenting with layering in A5, I don't want to lose the layers. And they've just started doing massive construction outside our house again. This is literally the 3rd time this week and they do it every other month, so if you can hear it, I'm so sorry. Here I have some notes for the zine on the haunted internet. I haven't illustrated those yet, but the text is final. Here's another day from my week, and I have this little scanned like note paper, and then I have the photos. This little bunny sticker from Mini Super Sticker Club, and it's like bubbly. There's glitter in it too, I really like it. I like coming back in and adding those. And then I have more of these like textured paper stickers as well. And a cobweb that I drew, I forgot about that. So that's cute. Down here I have this photo of my folder, and then I have a photo of my cousin from last year to remind myself of the kind of layouts and like the vibe I guess I want to emulate. So that's quite nice. And then I have this photo from the execution of Jane Grey, which was my favorite painting. I have this photo from someone on Instagram, and they have like stacks of like filled up folders because that's where I want to get to, hopefully. And then down here I have some little ants. And then this photo of the Grim Reaper saying, yeah, that's going in my journal. I saw that on Tumblr and it really cracked me up. I've got a to-do list down here, all the stuff that's coming up. And then that's where I am. And then in the back, I have this old folder. I just took it out of my previous A5 filofax and put it back in. So all the photos are over a year old. But then in the back, I also have a folder with my Mini Super Sticker Club stickers. And I actually have pages to swap out. So if I can take this one out, I have it here. And then here is the start of this week. This one goes here. And this one goes here. So this is the start of this week. I'm through to Wednesday. Got a photo of me and my dad yesterday when we went for brunch, and then today nail appointment, and then for the rest of the week. So you can see my sort of like midweek tracking going on, and then I've not updated the other columns yet, but we're getting there. And then on the reverse of that, I then have like the start of this week's pages. So Monday's pages was kind of like research and stuff, and kind of again the mood and the feeling I really want to emulate in like my A5 pages. And then I got a little quote down here too, and then a page for my Halloween zine. And then on the reverse I have some photos from when I met my friend on Tuesday, and then I have some notes from last night as well, so pretty cute. I feel very content in here at the moment. It's really nice. So that's kind of what I Frankensteined for myself for 2025. You know, I didn't expect it, but I feel like this feels the most sustainable, I guess, and the most like manageable for myself. This has been like the least burdensome upkeep. Even though it's big pages, they're bigger than personal, it feels easier to maintain somehow daily. Like when I dip in and out between my illustration and my to-do list and the weekly tracking and the daily notes, it all feels very seamless, I guess because it's all done in one size in one place. And that's kind of nice. And then I'm also hopefully avoiding the maintenance fatigue of the personal pages, because having to fold them and glue them and trim them and punch them was really annoying. And I know that this only cuts out the trimming, but somehow that makes it feel so much less annoying. Because I do get to a point where if I'm busy, the maintenance just feels too much. I don't want to have to spend so much time cutting all the pages. Like you have to do like 3 slices per page, which is like, it gets a lot. And for this one, you just fold, glue and punch, and it feels so much more seamless. And that's really nice. So I'm hoping that feeling is going to stick. But that's where I'm at with it. It's interesting because I feel like I've learned a lot again this year, and then I've borrowed so many things from the different sort of like phases I went through. and that makes me feel less horrible about it all, I guess, about my like summer like nervous breakdown, is that at least I learned things and then I can take those things I learned going forward, and maybe if I hadn't gone through all of that again, I wouldn't have the knowledge and I wouldn't have found this way of working, I guess. But interesting. Now I will show you my stickers because it's good to end on a high note. And I'm quite excited to share them. I've been getting back into stickers again because part of my system for next year is to have a little Hobonichi weeks alongside this as like a sticker book. In my head, I call it my Sunday sticker club book because I normally sit down at the end of the week to make my pages. And I haven't done any yet this month because I'm saving them for when I meet up with some people at the end of the month and then I can participate. But basically I don't write anything, I just take photos and I print out the photos for the month and then I layer them up in the weeks and add stickers, and that's fun. So I have like this little sticker book and that lets me stay in the Hobonichi loop so that I don't die from Fomonichi. So that's kind of my thinking. But I have been buying stickers and I want to show you all the stickers I got. So I didn't buy all of these recently, some of them I bought a little while ago, but then I've just been like hoarding them. I normally buy like a couple of sheets a month and then I've just been collecting them up and waiting to find a way to use them in a system that felt comfortable, and I have started using them in here, so that's nice. This one isn't open yet, but basically I really love this Japanese brand of stickers called Kamio, K-A-M-I-O. I'm not gonna link them because I would like to gatekeep a little bit. I don't want them all to disappear and be unable for me to buy them, but you can find them by searching them. They're called Kamio, so K-A-M-I-O, and the stickers are called like visual dictionary stickers. I really love them. They come on this like textured wrinkly paper and they have gold foiled edges, and like these are Peanuts ones. My guy Schroeder is even here. They never include Schroeder, but he's here. So I've got these Peanuts ones, I've got these like cryptid ones with like the Mothman, crop circles, and like Nessie, a little like UFO with the cow, the bloody light bulb hieroglyph. It's really cool. There's Bigfoot, like they're so Stonehenge, even though that's not a cryptid thing. And a bent spoon, like the detail, 10 out of 10. I have some more Snoopy ones. This one is Snoopy and his family, like all his cousins, like this little fairy one. His name is Andy. I like the little annotations. Some of them are in English, but most of them are in Japanese. And then some of these are different. Let me show you all the Kamio ones first, and then I'll show you the other ones because I did order some stuff from the Sticky Club sale. My pencil board is in there. Okay, so these are all my Kamio stickers. So I have this one which is open and it's like bugs. I really like these beetles. I think they're really cool. And there's like a praying mantis and stuff too. And then I have these ones which is like nostalgic stationery. Some of these I've used in my pages. So there's like little ring binders and like little stickers and stuff, and like little kits, like DIY like bracelet kits and stuff. And like sweets. It's really cute. It reminds me of being a kid a bit. There's Tamagotchi ones. Bruh, like they're just so good. I really love them. Look, Weepchi. It's so good. And these are from the Uni. This is Bubblichi from the Uni. So this is an Uni collab, and there's actually a sheet too. Yeah, this one. Okay. There's also a sheet like with the devices. That's the Uni. It's so cool. And I did actually order more Tamagotchi ones. They have more that are like silhouetted like this. They're 8-bit style ones, and I ordered some more. If you want to see another Kamio sticker haul, please let me know because I think these are like becoming a special interest for me. I have so many sheets. They're like £2 when you convert them, and then you can get them online. The shipping is expensive, but if you buy in bulk, then the shipping is worth it. And they bring me so much joy to use them in my days. Like at the end of the week, I love going through my stickers and choosing which little stickers I want to add to my pages. It's been a real true source of joy for me. So I just feel like these are very niche stickers and they really fit me in a hyper specific way. The fact they're called like visual dictionary is like, I love that. So you know me, I'm all about the details. So I just think that I have this one which is like the world's most dangerous creatures themed. So there's like some like dangerous frogs and toads and stuff, scorpion, jellyfish, snakes, tiger, big bear, a jellyfish, it's probably a man-o-war or something, shark, big spiders. It's kind of fun, I like it. And then this one is, how do you call them? Do you call them yokai? I was talking to my dad about it the other day and we were discussing our favorite stories, and now I suddenly can't remember what they're called. But basically like Japanese like myths and legends type characters, like they're traditional like horror characters. So there's like the scary ladies, you know, the ones that you have to tell them they're pretty or they'll eat your face. And my dad's favorite one is the Wheel of Fortune or whatever it's called, with the face in the wheel. And they're really funny. I mostly bought these ones to show my dad because he keeps hearing me infodump about these stickers, and then he's like, okay, I don't really get it. But then he saw this one and he was like, okay, I kind of get it. I just think they're really, really neat. So these are my Kamio stickers. No regrets. Really excited about them. And then I have an extra sheet in here. I think this one is a different type of bugs, or it might be the same bugs one. I might have bought two. And then I did get some sticker sheets from the sticky sale area. Like these are Halloween stickers kind of from last year basically, so I got them all discounted. Again, I'm kind of shopping for my sticker club notebook a little bit, and to introduce some texture to my pages. So I got these foiled numbers. So they have butterflies and this kind of textured feel to them and kind of like a collage-y painted effect, and then they have the numbers foiled on top. I just thought they were quite pretty. They remind me of like Silence of the Lambs, I guess, with the silhouetted moth. And then I got these really cute initials. That's me. Again, I just think they're super cute for my pages. And then obviously these like foiled cobwebs were a must. I just think 10 out of 10. I got these like sugar skull style stickers with numbers again, just because I thought having some extra numbers is helpful always. And again with the gold foiling, I love a bit of foiling. So, and then the last one I have to show you is this sheet of like characters. And they're like little emo goth style cartoon characters. They feel very nostalgic for me. They remind me of watching like Ruby Gloom and Mona the Vampire and stuff on TV as a kid. They're really neat. So I saw those and I was like, oh yes, must. Look, that's me and Wednesday. That tiny little creature and the girl. That could be us. I just think they're so cool. And it's kind of nice to get excited about stickers. I feel like I find it hard to find stickers that I quite like. I don't tend to go for the stuff that's overly cutesy that a lot of people like. It just doesn't bring me joy in the same way. So when I found these weird little spooky ones, and obviously my newfound the hole I fall into every day at 2 in the morning, these ones, I just think they're so cool. I really love all the details, and the textured paper is so weird. I feel like it's definitely an acquired taste, but I'm really into it. So I'm really excited about having found these bits to use. And then someone gave me these as a freebie with one of my orders, and they're quite cute too. So I think I'm going to look into this company. It's called Sonia J Design. And they're nice. They're like ephemera based, so that's kind of cool. And then I think the last thing I have to show you, if you'll allow me the extra like 20 minutes, is my hobonichi order for 2025. I was kind of umming and ahhing about whether or not to share it, because like I feel like this year especially hobonichi haul culture has gotten a bit out of hand, and I'm kind of nervous about adding to it, if you know what I mean. But my order did come, and I thought you guys might be interested to see what I chose. So I thought I would include it, because I imagine the answer if I ask will be yes. I will say I really like the baby blue box this year. I think that's so cute. Some people had predicted online that it would be blue because we haven't had a blue one for a long time. And I really like it. It's super cute. So I will quickly open this. In here I just have my pens apparently. And then I'm gonna not talk so that I can mute the rustling, because I know a few of you hate that, so bear with me a second. Okay, I'll just open the two pouches out of their plastic because they were the really crinkly style of plastic that I think a lot of people don't like. So I got two drawer pouches. I've never bought these before. I've been procrastinating buying them for a couple of years, kind of umming and ahhing, but I'm always carrying all of my notebooks and my stationery up and down the stairs all the time when I move between rooms. And I'm always dropping stuff and it slides everywhere and it's like a whole ordeal. So I've been really needing to find some nice sort of organizable pouches for my bits. So I finally bought those, but I'll talk about my weeks first. So when I went to the Hobonichi preview party, which still feels like a dream, I fell in love immediately with this dog's cover. I thought it was so cute. And then also this one too that Kat showed me after. I thought again it was so like kind of weird in a cute way. Like I don't know why these are like bird people, but I'm into it. And the yarn and stuff and the little like bat type creatures down here. I kind of like it. This feels very wintry with the mittens too, so I like both of these. So because I like the cover on covers, I was thinking about getting like a plain cover to put the cover on covers on top of. I'm using the black gingham one for 2024 and originally I was going to get that for 2025, but then I started panicking at one point, like in the lead up to the like Hobonichi Day sales. Basically I was panicking and thinking like, what if I feel panicked next spring and I start craving something smaller? Would it be sensible and kind of preemptive, I guess, to get a week's mega to give myself those back pages if I decide I want them? Like if I want a place to handwrite notes by hand with a pen and keep them somewhere inconsequential, like would that be helpful? So just trying to kind of like preempt the holes in my system, I guess. And then I thought like I could use the front for like my Sunday sticker club thing. And then if I want to, I could use the back pages for like smaller notes that I don't have to show anyone. It could just stay tucked away. So I kind of ordered a week's mega and I got the starlight blue one because the black gingham wasn't in the mega. But then I had seen this one at Yoseka with Kat and I thought it was so beautiful, like with the foiling, especially like on the back, on the edge. I just thought it was the most beautiful thing. So then I ordered, because I was so panicked, I ordered both and I was like, well, I can order both and see how I feel when I hold them. And then I can always rehome one of them. Like it's not the end of the world. Like you can make these decisions when you're holding them. It's okay. And to be honest with you, I'm still not sure, but there's still time to decide. So I don't want to rush myself. But I picked up both to see how I feel. And it never hurts to have the spare cover on covers anyway, so I don't know, let me know what you think. I think this could be like the smartest decision. I think this is so beautiful, but I'm not sure if I would get bored of it partway through the year. Obviously I'm kind of like a goth girl at heart, so it's a bit contrasting to my personality, but I think it's the little sacred heart really draws me in. And then the fact that it's lilac too, like lilac and purple are kind of my favorite colors. I like that overlap with my darker stuff. I am a purple girl. So I'm not sure. I just remember when I saw it in person, it really stuck with me. Like it really grabbed my attention from like across the room. So I don't know. But there's time to decide. As I said, there doesn't have to be any kind of mad rush or panic. Like there's room to think about it. But I do wonder if this is the most sensible option, the most customizable option, and also allows for those small gaps in my system if they arise. So I kind of feel like I know what I should do. And then this is like, but it's pretty. So I'm not sure. We'll revisit that at some point. But so then my drawer pouches, I got this one, which I think is the Arn pouch or Arne pouch. It's the big sister pouch. And it fits a week's in it. Oh, it's like a purse. So I was thinking I would like one of these for my stickers, to organize my stickers. This is cute. Oh, can't wait to put that in my filofax. This one is cute for like organizing my stickers maybe. Everything on my desk is buried now. Let's see if they will... Yeah, see, look, I could have one side just full of kamio stickers. So I think that might be nice. That's kind of what I bought this one for, and also because you can fit a week's in it too. I know that from the description of the the listing is that you can get a week's in there, so that's quite useful for when I travel and meet friends to journal. I can use this as like my little Sunday Sticker Club carry pouch. I also saw someone, I think on Reddit or Facebook recently, put embroidered patches, like iron-on patches onto their black pouch, and it looked so cool. So I'm probably gonna try and do that as well. I have pouches in my Delphonics patches in my pouch that I haven't stuck on anything, and I just keep waiting to find somewhere to put them, and I think this would be perfect, so I'm probably gonna do that. So that's the small one, and then I got the big one as well. And just now when I opened it, I was like, oh, that's bigger than I thought it would be, but I'm kind of glad because I wonder if I could get my filofax in it. I'm guessing probably not, just because the A5 filofax is so big. But again, it's so cool. Like for the storage, for carrying all my bits around the house, it's just perfect. Like my iPad can go in here. Do you know what I mean? So it's not super interesting to show you. It is just a pouch with a lot of pockets, which is fantastic. Could also put stickers in here. Like I wonder if I could get everything in here. My iPad, my weeks, my stickers. And then like the only thing that wouldn't fit maybe would be my filofax. But like, it's perfect. So originally when I ordered this one, I think I was still playing in my personal size filofax, and that would fit in here. Definitely. So no regrets on finally ordering the pouches. That's why I made the Hobonichi order direct, because this year I knew I wanted to commit to the pouches. And I don't regret that at all. I'm really glad to have them in my little cluster of stationery stuff, I guess. So that is my Hobonichi order. The only thing that I would like to do maybe is open one of the weeks, and I'll open this one because I think it's my sensible one, because I want to look at the really cursed oh man, because Tetra Mask is here. You know, did you guys watch Sailor Moon as a kid with Tuxedo Mask? I didn't realize he was actually called Tetra Mask. I thought that was a joke people were making, and I thought it was so funny, but it literally says the mystery of Tetra Mask. Like, that's so funny. It's so cursed. I'm a really big fan. I've had a couple of messages from people saying, have you seen the cursed nature of the pamphlet? And I have, and I am like, this is why I like Hobonichi as a company, because they're always a bit weird underneath. Like, they've always been a bit weird, and I'm into it. So, oh, look at it. Oh, enormously cursed. I'm a really big fan. It's so good, and you can scan the QR codes to read the story. So I won't do that now, but look, it's a post. It's just, it's so good, and so, look, what the hell with the teeth in that book? Phenomenal work. Thank you, Hobonichi, I love you. Like, oh, to me this is a big improvement on the cuter ones from previous years. Like, this is so fun for me. Okay, I think that is everything. It's a big catch up. I'm sorry for the length I imagine this video is, but I wanted to come and finally give you sort of like the big breakdown. I knew there was a lot to catch you up on, and I needed to try and tackle it. So that's everything. Hopefully, if I forgot anything, let me know. If you have any questions, always happy to answer them in the comments. I hope this is an interesting development for you. I know a lot of you said under the last video that you're happy to stick around and see what I work through, and that it's only tiring for you in the sense that you don't like to see me going through it, which is really nice. So thank you for your continued support, even while I hop around and get stressed. The autumn is coming now. I'm so relieved, and this feels really good, and I'm excited to work on my Halloween zine. Little previews that you've seen in here. It's getting silly. We're making bugs out of potatoes. So hopefully you'll enjoy that too when it's finished. Okay, I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.